So the nexus of seventh coffee, is that Jack is missing part of his seventh chromosome. We have part of the 7 of our logo missing, so Jack kind of has his fingerprints all over my company because this company really is about him. So my name is Mike Gatopoulos. My son Jack has been with Lansdowne for about 6 years now. Before Jack was born, his mom and I had a little girl. She was about 2. So we were adjusting to life as parents, and we were about to adjust to life as having 2 kids. So then Jack was born, and then probably by the time he was 6 or 7 months, we realized he was behind in a bunch of things. You know you have a professional who's looking at him differently than I look at him as a parent. I will say Lansdowne was incredibly thorough. Some of the questions they asked, some of the things they did were things that wouldn't have ever crossed our minds. You know that she's noticing the way his hips move and what that means for the rest of his core and what strength exercises he should do based on that. It's invaluable having just the eyes of a professional because you really feel like you're a lot more confident in helping him once a professional has told you, here are the issues, here's how you can help. Once he had been receiving services from Lansdowne for about 6 months, I would say, we finally got his diagnosis that he has the genetic disorder. He's missing part of his 7th chromosome called Williams syndrome. And then once he had his diagnosis, it was kind of the world came crashing down. All of the thoughts and dreams of your kid's life, all the amazing things that they're going to do, some of those things are gone. And that's a lot to deal with as a parent because you want what's best for your kid. And there's a lot of guilt that goes along with that as well. There's a lot of guilt thinking, what about my retirement? Is my kid going to live with me now for the rest of my life? What does that make my life look like? So there's guilt and shame over those types of feelings. But there was a lot of support from Lansdowne there, which was fantastic. I mean, Lansdowne champions kids and champions parents and families like ours and the things that we go through. He's used Lansdowne for OT, PT, speech. The list goes on and on for what Jack has been there for. He's starting to learn his letters and his numbers. It's a whole different perspective now with Jack. There's a much larger appreciation for a lot of these things than we ever would have had before. Jack jumping from preschool to school was probably one of the scarier things that have ever happened. Lansdowne was amazing. We did an All About Me profile about Jack with his picture on it, talking about a lot of his strengths, some of his weaknesses, things he would need more help with. They were in meetings with us, with the school themselves, to kind of help everyone understand Jack. It was absolutely amazing. I'm so grateful that Lansdowne was help with that because we didn't really know what to do. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what to say. And to have professionals sitting in on those meetings with us to help us find the right words was really an invaluable experience. He just loves the social interaction that school brings. He's got a fabulous team around him. He leads the class sometimes in songs because with Williams syndrome, he is really, really musical. That tends to be a trait that people with Williams syndrome have, and that was not lost on him. So he loves singing, he loves playing music. He's into a lot of kind of typical things that a kid his age would be into. But now that, with the support of Lansdowne, with the support of meeting other families and really understanding how to advocate correctly, really what we want for Jack is we want Jack to be independent enough to be able to ask for help when he needs it. And that's kind of been the underlying, the underlying vision for Jack going forward. How do we get him to that point? So it's invaluable to have a professional to be able to say, here's what you're looking at, and here's what the fixes for that is, rather than just guessing and just Dr. Googling and YouTubing it, because that's, as not being a professional, I'm not qualified to know. Even when I started with the Family Support Network, I just had this overwhelming sense of gratitude for the things that Lansdowne has done for Jack and for our family. And I just wanted to give back. Those kind of feelings that I had, that I started to know that other parents had those feelings too. And it was just one of those things that isn't talked about. It was kind of a stigma type thing. So I really wanted to join the Family Support Network to be an outlet for other people who were going through that, who were having those feelings. Who can I actually talk to about this who isn't going to judge me? Life can be very challenging when you have a non-neurotypical kid. It's incredibly rewarding because it also opens your eyes to all of the amazing things that happen. You know, your kid learning to read or recognizing numbers or letters. Those are huge milestones for Jack, so we don't take the little things for granted with Jack. It definitely opened our eyes to some of the things that are difficult, but some of the things that are really, really rewarding as well. We are just incredibly grateful for some of the gains that Jack has made through the therapies and interventions that Lansdowne Children's Center has provided, and it was just so important for me to give back because I could not ever express my gratitude enough to Lansdowne. So through the Family Support Network, through being on the board, that's my way of trying to give back to them and be that for other families.